We handle any and all of those. Typically when I sit down with an association or a board of directors, or if the board appoints a particular board member to kind of be the legal liaison, I will sit down with them and kind of hash out what their goals are. If their goals are to amend a large part of the declaration or the bylaws, then what the suggestion is, because otherwise it becomes very cumbersome when you have a large number of amendments, then what the better solution is to restate the declaration or restate the bylaws. So you take the older set that you have, you incorporate your changes in those, and as long as they're properly approved by the members, then you record a whole new set. So there aren't a number of amendments that someone has to look up to understand what exactly the association has changed. They're all contained in the restatement. Now, once you have the restatement, you can have amendments that are done after those as well. So that's kind of the initial analysis, is whether or not it's more appropriate to restate the governing document that you're talking about, or if the better position is to just file an amendment or two. And those amendments can deal with leasing, they can deal with parking, they can deal with pet restrictions, they can deal with what parts of the, if it's still under developer control, what parts of the development are actually incorporated into the POA and are actually committed property within the association or the condo association. So really it kind of just any part of the declaration of bylaws that that the members are going to provide the proper votes necessary according to the declaration or according to the bylaws to amend those, then we can go ahead and amend those as long as they're not in violation with the statute. So you have to always keep that in mind. Sometimes boards will say, we have this kind of problem, so we want this amended. And typically you would be able to say, okay, but there's sometimes where you have to say, well, wait a second, there's a statute that came into effect after your original declaration was recorded. And now that statute applies. So if you're to amend that, you would be violating the statute, and that's something an association always wants to stay away from. So that's kind of the procedure that goes through on analyzing and really going ahead and drafting those types of amendments or restatements to the governing documents. And that's something that my firm handles from A to Z. So any of the governing documents that would need to be amended would go through that analysis, and then we would file the appropriate documents to either amend it or restate it.